Hi everyone. In this video, I'm going to show you my 3-tier slider card made with CRICUT Design Space. It's not an original idea. I've seen it often online, but always cut by hand, so I thought a Design Space file would be really great. If you'd like to use my file, check the description right under this video. You'll find a link to my Facebook group. That's where I share my files. So we're going to start this project here in Design Space. There's a couple of things I wanted to show you about the file. I've included an optional envelope for it. Of course, you're free to use whatever envelope you have if you prefer to use something else. I've also included a plain white panel in case you want to add it to the back of the card where you can write your own message, aside from the embellishments. I've included all the embellishments along with the top, middle, and bottom layer. And these pieces are the little sliders you'll use to move the inserts up and down, and a pull tab for the top. The little sliders are not optional. You definitely need those, but the pull tab you can change if you like. And if you'd like to change these sentiments that I've added to it, you can do so easily just by ungrouping. You can unflatten and change whatever you want and then put it all back together, flatten, and I keep them grouped together just to keep the file neat on my desktop. So we'll group that. And that's all there is to it. It's really not difficult. I've gone ahead and pre-cut the file so that I can assemble it for you in this video, and you'll see how easy it actually goes together. When it's finished, it looks a lot more complicated than it is. So I'll switch to my overhead camera and we'll assemble this card. This is my trial version that I showed you a picture of in the group. It's really cute. I think this is a fun card. I threw it together really fast and I cracked the edge on my card and tore it a little bit, but it's just my trial. I won't be giving it to anyone, so I'm not worried about it. This is the optional envelope that I included in the file, and you can see that it fits well. That works well together, so if you want to use it, no worries, it's going to fit very well. We'll just set that aside. So these are my sentiments. I've already added the back to them so that they're framed and they're ready to attach to the card. I did some work in advance so that the video won't be too long. This is the optional sentiment and the optional layer that would go on the back of the card if you want to do a handwritten note or if you want to add something else in Design Space. This is in the file. There's a note in the file, what it's for. Don't forget to delete that note before you go to cut. You don't want to cut out all that little note by Design Space with your machine. These are the two little pieces that we use for the sliders. This is the pull tab that you see at the top of the card. And these are my 3 layers. I find it's fun to mix up the patterns and stay in the same color schemes and mix up the patterns. I think that's really cute. So, but of course that's completely optional. It's up to you. If you like, you can do the base all in the same color. It's completely up to you. So we're going to start with our top layer, our smallest layer. You'll just fold in the 2 score lines and fold it over. That's all there is to this one. You don't have any slider on this part of it. I'm going to glue it together. Put some tape runner on both sides. And we'll just glue it down. That's all we need to do for this layer. we're going to add our pull tab to it. There we go. We'll just center it up. You of course want it to extend over the edge. There's our pull tab. And on this one, on this trial version, I put my sentiments on after, and that's how I tore the edge of this card. So I think on this one, I'll put the sentiment on first. So I'm just going to line it up at the top, center it, and line it up near the top. I'll do that. This is the easiest layer to do, of course. This tape runner is so sticky. And we'll just center that and try to get it on straight. There we go. Okay, let's get our second layer ready. So the first thing we'll do is fold our score lines. Make them nice and crisp. Make sure they're straight. There we go. So on this layer, you want to work with the good side facing down. So I'm going to use my polka dots on this layer as my good side. So I'm going to put them facing down. You see that we have the slots here to put our pull mechanism. We're just going to take one of them, either one, they're the same size. And we're going to put it through the slot. Push it all the way down to the bottom. So you know the bottom because the space is wider at the bottom than it is at the top. The space under the slots is wider at the bottom. So you know you want to put this down towards the bottom. Fold it over, and we're just going to fold these little tabs over. You don't want to glue them down. If you glue them down, you won't be able to slide this part up and down, so you definitely don't want to glue them down. Turn it back over so you're working on the wrong side. I'll just get my little cover from my tape off. There we go. And now you have your good side facing down, and you want to insert this facing up. So you want to just line it up with the edge of the card, the top edge of the card, and press it down. There we go. Move it a couple of times and make sure that it's moving properly. Then you're going to fold it over with these little tabs facing up. Add some adhesive to this end piece. You're going to add your adhesive on the right of the score line and on the end. Make sure these are flat and fold this piece over. There we go. And then we have our little tab that pops up. Okay, so now we're going to repeat that on the last layer. Oh, before I do that, I'm going to add my sentiment to this layer. So add some adhesive. So sticky. And we're going to center that up as best we can. There we go. That's working nicely. And now we'll prepare this layer. So on this one, I want my stripes to be the outside. I don't want flowers. I want stripes. So this will be my outside. I'm just going to fold my score lines. Make sure they're nice and straight. Okay, with your good side facing down, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to add our little slider into the slots. Flip it over and make sure it's nice and even. And down at the bottom and fold these. Make sure this slides properly, and it does. So I'm just going to remove my little cover on my tape. And now we're going to take this piece with the sentiment facing up, and we're just going to line it up right on the edge. There we go. Flip it over. We'll add adhesive on the right of the score line and along the edge. Make sure these are flat so they move properly. And then we'll just fold this over and make sure it's glued down. There we go. Isn't that cute? It's really not difficult to put it together. So we'll add our sentiment to the front. Center it up. And there we go. There's our card. So I can add this to the back if I want to have a blank space to write a note. And I can add a ribbon to the pull. Let's just punch a hole through. I didn't include a hole in it in the file, so you can just use a punch if you like, or add one to the file. This ribbon is a little difficult to put through, but we'll get it. And we have our little pull tab with a ribbon. And that's our 3-tier slider card. Isn't that fun? So I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you're going to make some of these 3-tier slider cards. Please post pictures in the group. If you do, I'd love to see them. And thank you for watching.